What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and today I'm back to talk about Warhammer 30k this time, because I will be going over the Horus Heresy novels. These novels are essential if you want to know the lore for Warhammer. It basically sets the stage for Warhammer 40k. It gives you the ins and outs of the Primarchs, the Emperor, and what exactly happened during the end of the Great Crusade and the entirety of the Horus Heresy. So if you're new to 40k, if you're new to this whole universe, these novels are essential. And there are a ton of them. At this point, I believe there is currently 56 novels, with 2 more coming out in the horizon, and the number 58, as far as I know, will be the last and final novel in the series. So you have a ton of reading before you. This insurmountable amount of lore is just beckoning for you. Now, like I said, it is a little daunting, especially since these novels are not short. They do take a while to get through, and they're made by a bunch of different authors. So the tone, the speed, the setting, it does differ, and because of that, it could be a little grueling to get through. However, I did a little bit of research, and it's not necessary to go through all 56, which is great, because at $10 a pop roughly, you will be spending upwards of $500 to read all of this. Whether you decide to do it via audiobook, online ebooks, or physical paperbacks, that's up to you. But I, for one, do not want to spend almost $600 to read this when most of this is not essential. Obviously, if you're new to 40k and you have no idea what's what, my opinion has always been start with the current 40k rulebook. This would be the 9th edition rulebook, because it gives you a little bit of lore on pretty much everything. You get all the faction lore, what's going on currently in the timeline, a little bit of lore on the origins of all these factions, the Primarchs and whatnot, the Imperium, and it gets you pretty acquainted with what exactly has transpired and what is going on. Now, of course, if you want more information, the Horus Heresy novels is the next step there, besides buying the actual codex and reading about a faction that you are interested in. But going back to the Heresy, these books they're really interesting because it shows you the origins, it shows you the personalities of Space Marines and Primarchs, and they're very fun to get into. I was doing a bit of research, like I said, and I stumbled across Winter's SEOs. He's also a fellow 40k YouTuber that kind of focuses a little bit more so on battle reports than anything else, but he did do a video, an informative dive as to which of the 40k novels, or I guess 30k novels, were essential, and I believe he narrowed it down to 16. After doing a little bit more research and checking online, for the most part, there are a ton of them that you can just ignore. A lot of them are basically all about certain factions. Like, let's say if you want to learn all about the Salamanders, there are a few that you should check out. But from what I can gather, the first 5 books in the Horus Heresy are essential. They show you the origins of Horus, how he became essentially plagued and corrupted by chaos, and how the heresy began. So these 5 books give you all of that information, and then from here you're free to kind of jump around and pick and choose what you really want to go into. So like I said, if you really like the Mechanicus, if you like the Dark Angels, read those books. A lot of these, from what I've been kind of gathering, don't really play too much. So for example, you'll have a book that focuses entirely on the Ultramarines fighting a few battles that don't really change or shape the outcome of the heresy, so I guess you can kind of skip those. And then the last couple books, the Siege of Terra series, those are all pretty essential because they lead towards that final book. Now, if you don't really care about getting spoiled and whatnot, there is another YouTuber who has a 20-minute Horus Heresy novel review on all of them, so I greatly recommend you guys check him out. He is Arbiter Ian, and he does a pretty good review. Like I said, he doesn't really go too in-depth and doesn't really spoil things too much, but I definitely recommend it if you're just trying to get a quick synopsis as to what's going on, and maybe that's how you'll figure out which ones to skip, which ones to look into. But yeah, definitely check him out, as well as Winters. Like I said, that'll kind of give you these stepping stones towards your journey on reading these novels. Because honestly, if you want to read all 56, more power to you, but it will take some time, and there are some books that aren't as intriguing or well written as others, so just kind of throwing that out there. Now, the one thing about these books that I do recommend most people should read if they're into 40k is that they give you a lot of insight into the lore of 40k. So the old lore said that the Emperor created the Primarchs and the Astartes with only pretty much just Malcador at the helm, but now they've introduced new characters. They've given a little bit more lore and information as to the how, the what, the whens, the whys. And without all these new intricacies, you could be missing out on some pretty big things, such as the mother of the Primarchs, the creator of the Astartes, Astarte, which is how they got their name. So there's a ton of things that you really should be diving into, because a lot of these things, they're pretty recent, and without going into the novels, you probably won't get that information in a codex, or just talking to people, or looking at other YouTube videos, because it is new lore that kind of does change the old lore. And I'm kind of intrigued, excited, but also a little cautious, because like I said, the final book is coming out that pits the beginning of the end, so to speak. The Emperor against Horus, and if things go the way that we're seeing, we might get a little bit more insight as to what happened during that battle. Maybe we get to find out that Sanguinius was not killed by Horus, which could change a lot of things. We might find out who exactly was the person that came and halted Horus to allow the Emperor to come in and slay him. Was it Olanus Pius? Was it a Custodi? Honestly, it could be a lot of things. So I'm hesitant but very hopeful, because it is being written by none other than Dan Abnett, one of the very best authors when it comes to science fiction and 40k. So a lot of things to really look forward to. I mean, it has been roughly 17 years since the series began, and I believe in a few months it will be coming to a close, unless things get postponed and whatnot. So yeah, it has definitely been an interesting ride reading these novels, and I can't recommend them enough to you guys. So with that being said, guys, let me know your reading order. Let me know if you just said F reading orders. I just went from number 1 to number 56, or if there's any other ones that are absolutely necessary. Like I said, the first 5 are necessary. Master of Mankind is necessary. And definitely the Siege of Terra ones are ones to kind of look out for. But yeah, that's all I got for today, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you want to support us, like, comment, subscribe. We got a Patreon page. If you want to talk to us on our socials, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, it's all down in the description. And with that being said, I'm the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.